I can bump it to the right, I can bump it to the left, bump it to the top and go full screen. This is everything that I have in Windows 7 that I've come to know and love. If I get two apps, I can bump one here and bump one there. But because this is Windows 8, I'll go back to the start menu, and let me bring up a video using the new Metro style video application. I'm going to launch this paragliding video, and I'm going to show you how I can move between these different app models. So simply by taking the mouse and going to the upper left corner, I get a little peekaboo view of the other apps that are running. So there's the desktop, and you can see I can just put it wherever I want. So I'll put the desktop here. There's my video app. I want to put it off to the side here so I can keep watching that. So now I've got desktop apps, Metro style apps all on the same screen, and I can easily just make this go full screen, peekaboo, there's my desktop apps, make those bigger screen, and easily move around using a mouse, using a keyboard, and obviously all this works very well from touch as well. So it's really easy for me to manage the applications that I've got. And I can close applications very simply just by dragging them out. Okay, so next I want to move on and show you that same slate machine that we did the first demo with. Every time I get close to the speakers, we get the feedback, so I'll try to hover this way. This is the same slate machine again, but this is running a newer version of Windows, close to the consumer developer or consumer release that we're planning in February. So again, we're here at the start bar, and I can quickly navigate around the start bar and see all the apps I have. And I showed you briefly earlier how I can bring up the standard charms here and see all the actions that I can take place on the PC. Now I'm going to click on the settings charm this time, and right from the settings charm I can do the things that I like to do quickly with my PC, like perhaps adjust the volume up or down. I can adjust the brightness of the screen, all the standard things I want to do on my PC. But being that it's Windows and we allow you to customize the experience and personalize it a bit, we have a lot more functionality that we expose here. So from this screen here, if I wanted to change the way the start screen looked, for instance, if I didn't like blue, I was more of a green type of fan, I could change that. And I don't know if you noticed when I was panning around the start bar, it had this kind of three-dimensional feel to it because the background was moving at a different rate than the foreground. That background, we call a tattoo, I can customize that as well and choose some of these other styles. Okay? But what I want to show you now is one of the standard extensibility mechanisms that we have in Windows. So for this example, I'm going to go to Account Picture. And before I dive into that, I want to share one of my other personal favorite features in Windows 8 is finally that little black dot that's been staring at me forever on my laptop that I really couldn't do much with, the camera. This is a great example of how we've integrated the camera experience into Windows now. So right from here, if I wanted to get an updated picture, I could just click webcam and take a snapshot of myself using the webcam. And tons of other examples where we brought that hardware and made it more readily accessible to the applications in Windows. But what I wanted to show you in this particular example is I'm going to hit Browse. And this brings up a standard Metro style file dialog that any application would have access to. A single line of code to invoke this if you're a developer. And right from here you can see all the files that I have right on my hard drive here. Also from this list I can have files that are stored on a server or a PC, like a home group PC on my home network as well. But more interestingly, if I drill into the files dialog here, I see all these locations where pictures can be stored, but what I also see is applications that I've installed that expose pictures, being that I'm looking for pictures, as a service. So Photo Feeder, for instance, has provided an extensibility option here so that I can see photos off their service in the cloud. And this app has no specific awareness of Photo Feeder or Socialite or any other app at this time. It simply just allowed this other application to expose this file type to me. So right here from Photo Feeder, I'm actually looking at files in the cloud, and from here I'm going to choose the picture of me right there and say choose image. So we didn't know anything about how they got access to those pictures. It had an extension that allowed me to use that. So you can install tons of different applications that can extend Windows in this way so they can provide services to allow you to access these files and other benefits. So I'll show you a few more examples of this in just a minute. So while I'm here in the settings page, I want to show you some more options within the charms here. So I'm just going to, again, swipe out from the right, expose the charms. I mentioned search is something that we used when we typed in Excel to launch that application on the other machine. I'm going to bring up search this time, but instead of searching across my system for applications, I'm going to highlight Socialite this time. And by highlighting that app, it's giving that app context that I want to search across that app. So I'm going to start typing Jason, and boom, it found a friend of mine on this social service called Jason Beaumont. So I'll choose Jason, and boom, there's Jason's profile. So search was just another contract that this Metro app supported. So this is standard across all Metro style apps. So I bring out the charm, I type search, every app will respond in a similar way to this. But let's say instead of searching for Jason on Socialite, I wanted to search for Jason on Internet Explorer. So I'll hit Internet Explorer, and boom, there's the results of Jason Beaumont in IE. So I'll just click here, bring up IE. And while we're in IE, this is a great time for me to talk about some of the investments we've made in this new Metro-style browser. So I'm sure you've heard about the great enhancements we've made with IE 9 and what's coming in IE 10. Much more better performance, leveraging the hardware, better security. And you can see a great example of that as I zoom in, and you can see the text being rendered very quickly and how fast it responds to zoom actions. And being that we give applications full access to the screen, you'll notice that this app runs edge to edge, has every pixel on the screen is dedicated to the browsing experience right now. So what happens if the app wants to expose file options and configurations and settings and other types of things? Well, the way we do that is we swipe to the right to bring up the standard charms. I swipe from the bottom, and those are the app extension capabilities there. So this app chose to expose some icons here. Like if I wanted to make this search result, pin it to my start menu, I could just click the pin icon here. I could also move between different tabs here. So now I'm on a different web page, and I'll just browse around this a little bit. Okay. And notice how fast that rendered on the screen, and again, zoom in, see fonts look great, very quick. But if I wanted to browse back to the previous page, I just swipe across the screen, and you can see I can quickly move across this browsing experience here. So again, I'll bring up this, I'll go to the Windows 8 blog. And if you haven't been living under a rock, you've probably heard about the investments we've been making with HTML5 in the browser. I work on the team that does the HTML5 video tag, so it's one of my favorite features. So let me go ahead and play this video using HTML5. And while that's playing, I want to show you another way of using these standard charms inside of Windows. So let's say I wanted to share this article with a friend of mine. So I could simply click on the text, grab the little slider here, slide to the pieces that I want to share, and then slide out the charms. Oops, missed it. Try that again. Slide out the charms. This time I say share. So what I want to do is I want to share this article with a friend of mine on a social network. So I'll say friend feed. I'm going to give this to Katie. I'm going to start typing a message here. And notice when I click on the dialog, the keyboard, on-screen keyboard pops up. And this is handy when I've got the machine like this where I can type on it like a keyboard. But let's say that I was holding it in my hands and I wanted to use my thumbs. So I can quickly select this. I can make the thumbs bigger or smaller depending on my hand size and type in the message. For this, I'll go back to this and I'll say, check this out. I'm trying to purposely misspell the word so I can show you. By default, all Metro-style apps will have spell checking and autocorrection built into them. So the application doesn't have to do anything specifically. We take care of that automatically. So we'll be able to spell and check words. So I'm going to try this and share that with Katie. So again,